How's everybody doing today? My name is Malik Hag, and I'm a sophomore sports administration major at the University of Cincinnati. My first question to you guys is, how can we open up and create more sporting opportunities for a wider range of individuals? Well, first of all, it starts with making an effort to ensure everyone has a fair chance to play. Sport leagues and organizations need to make an effort to tackle potential barriers, from clamping down on prejudiced comments to making sure women have the same rights and opportunities in sports as men. African Americans have come a long way to where they are today, and Earl Lloyd is a great example of how he diversified basketball. Earl Lloyd was one of three African Americans to be drafted into the 1950 NBA draft. He was also the first African American to play. Black players experienced racism early in their years in the NBA. Lloyd recalled being refused service multiple times, and there was an incident where an Indiana fan spit on him. Lloyd persevered through these moments and said that these instances only made him play harder. Lloyd said he rarely encountered a lot of racial animosity from his teammates or opposing players. Lloyd said of fans' antics that if they were calling you names, you were doing something right. If they weren't calling you any names, you weren't doing nothing. And despite being spat on by fans and refused service by so many establishments, he persevered, and this went well beyond the basketball court. Earl Lloyd's impact in advancing diversity in sports positively affected the NBA. In fact, over 70% of the NBA today are individuals of color. Earl Lloyd also advanced diversity in sports organizations in the coaching ranks. When he retired as a player, he became the first African American assistant coach in the NBA. And then he eventually became the second African American head coach in the NBA in 1971. Though recognized in the NBA's Hall of Fame for his talents, he is well appreciated for advancing his diversity in sports. Bill Russell is a name that comes up to mind as one of the greatest African Americans to play of all time. And even he said that he didn't want to accept his Hall of Fame ring because he felt that Earl Lloyd deserved to be in the Hall of Fame before he did. 2019 has been a big year for diversity and inclusion in sports. This is when athletes have come together to use their platform to speak on situations that feel like they need to be touched on in America. On the other hand, there are people who believe that sports and politics should never mix, including President Donald Trump and owners of NFL teams like Jerry Jones. The athlete's role to them has always just been to play, or just shut up and dribble. But they have a voice. It's more than just throwing a football, it's more than just hitting the baseball, it's more than just dribbling the basketball. They have thoughts and feelings as well. In 2019, speaking out on social justice topics have become a big thing for athletes. One you may know of is former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick was a former quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers and began taking a knee at the beginning of the 2016 NFL season. He explained that he was doing it to bring attention to the oppression of black people and the people of color, and cited the unjust killing of people of color by police. But he also added that he would stand for the national anthem once there's significant change and he feels like the flag represents what it's supposed to. Kaepernick said in a press conference after sitting out during the first anthem, "I am not going to stand up and show pride in the flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street, people getting paid leave, and just getting away with murder." 3 years later, Colin Kaepernick is yet to get another job in the NFL. His goal is to be signed by a team in the league where he has performed at the highest level. This past weekend was the first time he's even got a workout with the NFL team. Kaepernick is fighting ultimately for his rights that black athletes have just gave away. Jackie Robinson surrendered the right to defend himself. College athletes have relinquished their ability to be treated as employees. They don't get paid for anything. NFL players are restricted from wearing certain attire pregame and certain cleats during the game. And NBA athletes are just now learning that they are the ones that hold the power and not the owners. This is why athletes like LeBron James and Serena Williams choose to speak up. They are aware of what's going on around the country, and they are using their platforms to bring awareness to you. While we are probably still a long way from true diversity and equality, the increased visibility and courage these top athletes show in sports serves to inspire the youth to follow in their footsteps. It gives the public and the youth a more accurate representation of the variety of people that comprise our society. It helps to drive further inclusion in professional sports organizations. We also hope that these trends will grow and the impact will spread to all aspects of our society. And that's why we're more than an athlete.